Right, welcome back to Grump's Barn for something a little different. I'm going to go around this coaster again and hopefully try and tell you what's going on here, what the different things are and all that. So make a change and we can see me down in the bottom of the picture. I don't know if you want to see me down the bottom of the picture or even wanted to see me, but whether you do or not, I'm there. Hello. Right, here we go. Through the first bit of the coaster and into Bender's head. There he is, young Bender. In through one eye, round through his brain, past the valves that everyone says look like dildos. I don't know, I can't see it myself. Past the large great white shark, Celtic knot. And don't look at the tap, you'll see that in a bit, in more detail. On to the first thing, well, first big thing I built, the old Taj Mahal. So really you can feel the heat of India. Well, maybe not. But it's got sand around it, so it must be warm. Next along we have the Eiffel Tower. Actually built to scale, but was too tall to fit. So I had to split it into 3 bits and pretend it had been broken up by a space alien with big tentacles with pink bits. Yeah, I didn't believe it either. But the marching hammers from Pink Floyd's The Wall. They're wonderful, those. I love them. Took a lot of effort to make, considering they look fairly simple, but they're not. They're a pain in the backside. Unlike that thing over there, that dirty great skull, which looks a pain in the arse to make, and it was. Bloody enormous. We'll get to that in a bit, when we get there. Apologies if the camera cuts me off a bit, but at least if it does that, you won't be able to see me, and that would be a good thing. The inside of the Taj Mahal. Of course the real thing looks just like this. Probably. Based on a Lego model. So who knows. If it's wrong, blame Lego. Now I've started this off when it's getting dark, because the ride is so long now, it takes a day and night and most of the rest of the day to go right round. And this way, when I get to the new bits that I built, hopefully it'll be daylight again. We better see where we're going. Well, here we are inside the Death Star. This was a pain to build because I didn't know how to build spheres then, and I had to look up all the different ways of doing it, and that was a pain too. Just like every bloody thing. Now we're going into the nether regions, because for some reason when Marcus is was it Person? I don't know, something like that, and called himself Notch. When he made it, he called this like hell region that he built into it the Nether. So of course we're now in the nether regions. Oh well. Well, I recreated them in this part of it because that seemed like the thing to do at the time, and I didn't know how to build any of the big stuff that I've now built. That was a learning process. A burning squirkly thing there. Lovely big, I love that big dragon's head. Very pretty. That was made from a picture that I had to take down to a very low resolution so I could copy the pixels. And when I first released the video of this, that was what got me the views. I got 250,000 views just because of Hobbs. People love Hobbs. I can see why. That skull looks great with the eyes lit like that. And we got another new bit, the Space Invaded. Don't think you've seen that before. And of course Asterix and Obelix. Oh, and Dogmatics. Again new. The trike that was here last time. I know the skull was here last time. But you're going to see it again from the inside. And just like me, there's no brains on the inside. Just characters from South Park. Of course. What else do you put inside a giant skull? There we are. Kenny, Kyle, Stan and Cartman in all their glory. That there is the top of Bender's head. This is antenna. And now we're off to Stonehenge. Or at least what it's supposed to have looked like many years ago, apparently. Apart from all those candles and things. Well, it's as close as you're going to get it in this game. And this thing coming up on our right is Escher's relativity. I need to put my teeth in. Escher's relativity. As you can see, it's got all the staircases all over the place and people at different angles walking on them and things. It's a bit hard to appreciate when you zoom in past on this. And we'll soon be coming up to the new part that I've built. There's some very big builds. These are characters from the Discworld. Sergeant Detritus is a troll. The librarian who's an orangutan. Terry Pratchett, the author of the Discworld. And now we're going into the Ankh-Morpork region, or thereabouts, which wasn't here. About 3 weeks ago there was nothing over here. There's quite a bit here now. One giant dragon's head. That's from one of the stories of Mr. Pratchett's. This is the Discworld itself, which is carried on the back of a turtle, Great Atuin, with the 4 elephants holding up the flat disc of the earth. And there it is, all laid out before you, complete with seas, made of real water. And those 2 giant hippos are Roderick and Keith, the Ankh-Morpork hippos. You've got to have giant hippos. The Ankh there with an owl on top of it, that owl is a Morpork, so it's Ankh-Morpork. And the 2 soldiers down there are not actually soldiers, they're members of the City Watch. Nobby Nobbs and Sergeant Colon. Lord Veterinary there. He's the tyrant of Ankh-Morpork. He runs the place. And behind you can see Duckman with a duck on his head. A dog called Gaspode that talks. And foul old Ron the beggar. Another view coming away from the gate. Now we're going to go down inside the dragon, which is full of lemmings. Of course. What else do you expect to find in here? And these three characters coming up are Nanny Ogg, Granny Weatherwax, and Magret Garlic. They're the Lancre Witches. Again from the Discworld. Three of the best characters in it. Well, two of them are definitely fantastic characters. Some of the best ones he wrote. Love it. If you've never read the old Discworld books, I can highly recommend them. I've read them all about 10 million times. There we are. The Yellow Submarine from the Beatles film of the same name. And Marvin the Martian. A very big Marvin the Martian. If I'm stumbling over my words, it's because I keep getting feedback the whole time I'm talking. And it's repeating what I've just bloody said to me. And it's putting me off what I'm going to say next. Mexican skull. Very happy. Built on its side because it was too tall to fit. Bender again, this time coming out the sea. And a chopper. And you get to see the old Asterix characters a lot clearer here. I actually had to go into the game files and change some of the colours so I could build these things. Right, these other pictures here are also Discworld characters. You got Sergeant Vimes, or actually Commander Vimes, sorry, not Sergeant. Commander Vimes. The luggage, a homicidal piece of luggage with legs. And you might have noticed Rincewind the wizard there as well. He's that one there. All wonderful characters. The luggage follows him everywhere. If anyone goes for him, it eats them, pretty much. There's the Landy. Now been completely redone to make it look like the old girl. I didn't like it in its pinky red colour, so just redid it all. Only thing wrong is that bloody spare wheel on the back. She hasn't got that, but I don't care. I'm not changing that. Mona Lisa, sure I mentioned there. That was the very first picture I did. That took some working out. Hobbs was the second. Now we come to the wooden roller coaster section, which was actually one of the first bits I built of anything. I thought I'd build an actual roller coaster, but I built it all out of wood, excuse me, and all in and on trees. So I had to plant all the trees first. It took a while to do. but at the time I didn't have a clue then that you could build the sort of things that I've built now in it. Maybe that was 15 years ago or so. So yeah, I've been buggering about with this for a long time. Nearly at the end. Well, this bit. Excuse me. Yeah, I thought that flaming period, flaming pyramid was going to be the most complicated thing I did, and then I built that sphere. Yeah, that was a pain. It's probably full of mistakes, I'm sure. I've never checked. That big tower there and that little one there, first things I did when I got here to this world when it was new. Then ended up building things like this. A giant tap just because, well, it's a giant tap, isn't it? I had a model for it. Right, I find it best to look backwards when you go down there. You can see where you've been then. If you watch it forwards, you can't see what's going on. Right, last bit. There we go. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly enjoyed making it. Take care, people. I'll see you again. Bye.